It's Block Lounge Entertainment, and the time is right with T-Pre.
Welcome to the show, guys. Shakim and I just decided to do a quick impromptu video where we are going to discuss some craziness that has been going around lately in the sector. Clearly, you guys know and probably seen that breaking the culture of silence, aka breaking the culture of AAS, has been out here just deflecting, and saying all kinds of crazy stuff in regards to different things, as if almost like she wants to get anything to stick, anything that she could get to say that you guys would just believe. She just wants to go with. And the part of this that really bothers me that I'm going to talk about right now is number one, the fact that, every time she puts out some kind of lies, about us claiming that we've lied on her or that we've made her look bad. We have the evidence to just prove opposite of that. For instance, she said that we came up to New York and we were drunk and we all wrecked shop in her hometown, but we were able to prove by video that that's not the case. Okay. All these other things that have been going on. And the only thing that she seems to want to come out with is that I, told her some shit that, and I agree. There was something I said to her in an argument, by the way, that I should not have said. And in that happening, she's trying to use that against a woman in this sector. And I think it's very unfair what she's doing, because she's not doing it because she honestly, really cares about Nikki per se. She's only doing this to hurt Nikki. And it's not right to Nikki. Nikki and I are friends. I absolutely love her. I wouldn't do anything to hurt her. Did I say something to break in the culture to give her context to a situation? Yes, I did. But I didn't tell her that to be gossipy, and I didn't tell her that, to put Nikki's business per se out there. This is why Nikki can hear what she's saying and other people can hear what she's saying and know that she's lying. Okay. And, what I need breaking the culture to just do is to just accept responsibility for herself. You have been on this fucking worldwide tour trying to prove that I am some kind of liar and that I have done you wrong. And Shakim, the link is in the chat. I don't know if you know or not, but anyway, the link's in the chat for you. But anyway, you have been on this world tour trying to prove that I am some kind of liar and that I have done you wrong in some kind of way. And, you're just not going to prove that because that never happened. Okay. At the end of the day, there have always been T-Pre naysayers, in case you didn't know that. So I don't, there's always going to be somebody who's not going to like what I say, not going to like what I do, and they are willing to align with anyone else that feels the same way. I'm already aware of that. I've been aware of that for a very long time, and I don't really give a fuck. I don't tune into these spaces and listen to these people and take heed to the things that they say. They're welcome to say what they want. What's happening, Alan? I appreciate you being in the building. Yeah, so they're welcome to say whatever they want to say. They're welcome to do whatever they want to do. And, those people are just going to be there. So breaking the culture, you're only getting, feedback from people who just already feel the way that they feel. You understand what I'm saying? And they felt that way before you came around. So it doesn't really matter. The only thing, like I said, that bothers me about this is the fact that you feel like you want to try to dig into Nikki. Okay. And what you're doing is demonic and evil. Nobody did anything to Nikki. Nobody was talking about Nikki to you. And like I said, prove it. Show evidence of what you're saying. Okay, because you should have some text messages, some emails. You should have something that shows that I'm actually stabbing Nikki in the back to you and that I'm doing all these things to her. But you're not showing that because you don't have that. Okay. So stick to the facts. Stick to what has actually happened here. Because what has actually happened, what's happened to Muslim and Joe, I appreciate you being in the building. Because what has actually happened here, Breaking, is you and your ego got in the way of the situation. And instead of owning up to what really happened with the podcast, you decided to go live with a troll and talk about whatever you claimed your what you believed happened with the podcast. Okay. Even though it wasn't, I know it wasn't like that. And you know it wasn't like that. This is what you decided to do for the public because you want to be validated by these people so bad. Okay. So in you doing that, you opened up a can of worms with me and with Shakim Ra because me and him know the truth. We know that the things you're saying are lies. And we're not going to let you just say these things and make us look like we really did something to you or like we scammed or we did something crazy to you, because that's not the case, Breaking the Culture. You know that. So you know that you can't find anything to say about me or about Shakim Ra that could honestly disprove what we said in regards to this podcast. That is not our fault. And I'm going to explain to you again how you could have prevented this from happening. All you had to do was, if you're going to have your live on your show and talk about your show, and talk about things on your show, that's fine. But why would you bring up the podcast and make it as if someone, myself or Shakim has done something to you to cause harm to you? Because that isn't the case. And when you did that, we proved and we disproved you. And since that disapproval, you are now trying to find ways to hurt the people in the sector, turn people against me, think that the relationships that I have with these people are that shallow that you can just say and do whatever you want and say any old thing as if like you're a high schooler. And that's really going to change the relationship or the dynamic of the relationship I have with these people. And it isn't. It doesn't matter what you say or what you do, because nothing you're saying is truthful. It would be one thing if it was actually truthful. And these people would know, you understand, if it was truthful or not. But they know it's not. And they also know you have ill intentions. Well, one thing's for sure and two things for certain, right? If you don't have a reason to be coming after someone, if you don't have a reason to be targeting a person, if you don't have a reason to be creating problems and issues for people, then when you do, it will come back to you. It will flow back to you in the universe in different ways. You don't have a reason to be doing what you're doing, as you didn't have a reason to be talking about this to begin with. And because you did not have a reason to be talking about this to begin with, is why the universe is giving you the energy that you're getting for this. Why you're so bothered to the level where you are literally on a world tour throughout the sector in spaces that we happen not to even go to. Talking about this shit. Talking about me, talking about Shakim, talking about Nikki, talking about all this stuff. Nikki don't even have anything to do with any of this stuff. None of this stuff. You're just trying to put that in there because of your jealousy of my friendship with that woman and my relationship with her. And that's not my problem either. What's up, bro?
Yo, what's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good, good. Yeah, continue. I can only add on, and say just in brief that she's also mad that we're cool again, and it's like it's really not that deep. Like it's not that serious. The world does not end if two people fall out and get back cool. Like it's not the end of the world. So
Exactly. And I'm not really sure, like why she would have that. The only thing I can think of for her having that much energy towards this is, like I said, we can debunk her lies with the facts. We don't have, there's nothing, that we have, there's nothing that she could say about this podcast situation and this podcast deal that she gave us, that we can't back up with facts, that we can't back up with video evidence. You know what I mean? Like, that's just it. And that's not our fault, because it's not like we came out to attack her. She came out of the blue coming at us and trying to like get some type of validation from the sector. Everybody hit the like button. There's like 40 people in the clouds. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in, and also hit the subscribe and the share button as well. But yeah, she came in attacking us in this situation. And so we came back with the facts. We didn't even attack her. We didn't go on this. I mean, you did say some stuff about her being a hoe. I said some stuff about her sucking dick in a dungeon, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But that was after the fact, right? Like, she is the one that's coming at us about being these drunks that came to New York, and we came and wrecked shop in her hood, and we almost got locked up and all this other bullshit. And none of that shit was going on. And we can prove that through videos.
exactly. That's why I'm like, that's exactly why I haven't gone live, because I'm like, I'm gonna let you have your 15 minutes in the sector, because if you wanted it that bad, then you're actually proving our point is that it only benefits you and it only benefits AAS and Rev G for this issue to be brought up in December. Like this shit was a over the summer spring issue, but how is it that we were talking about Triggs having pedo-like behavior, and now it's everything else but what we were talking about? Like, how did you flip a situation about Corey and make that shit about you? How? How did you do it?
That's exactly what she did. She literally made a situation about another person in the sector about her, and has managed to change. Like, she's the queen of deflection. She is literally the queen of deflection. As soon as somebody is talking about something concerning pedo-like behavior or anything concerning, the mistreatment of children or anything like that, she will literally deflect. And it's not even just in this sector. That's the crazy part about it. She will literally deflect to herself and flip the switch to herself. Everybody look at me, me. And just everybody stops paying attention to whatever was going on with the allegations of someone. That's kind of weird. I find that real strange.
Yep. It's almost like she was sent to do that. But I could be wrong. Because when she made that post, she was sharing Ray Triggs' video and she wanted to call out everybody. Nikki, let me see her transcript, Carrie. And then she just became cool with Stargate overnight. Like, what? Like, it was just too convenient. Like, it's just her whole reason for doing this and her reasoning behind it. It sounds logical, right? Like, it sounds logical to dumb people, I guess. But the truth is stranger than fiction. So I don't fall for like, elementary school stories and shit. Like, cause I know how crazy the truth really is. And she lied on Stefan's show. she lied. And let me see, should I pull that up? No, you know what?
Yeah, go ahead. You can pull it up because I didn't watch Stefan's show. I did hear about it, but I didn't watch it.
Okay.
And the number one, I'm gonna tell you why. Because, like, first of all, Stefan emailed me yesterday, okay, and was asking me questions about, he was saying, I really want to talk to you so we can kind of, get past this stuff. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then he was saying, he really feel like AAS is behind all this confusion and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but what makes you think that? And he never emailed me back. But well, he emailed me a couple times. He kept saying the same thing, just that AAS is behind all this. And then he said, well, I feel like AAS is behind this most recent kerfuffle. And I was like, well, yeah. I was like, well, what makes you say that? Because, I don't trust Stefan. Because I know that, he will be acting like he's doing one thing. And then behind the scenes, he's saying something else. That's what he did the other day. You know what I mean? So I didn't trust that. And sure enough, here he is. I guess I don't know what he said on his show, but I'm sure it has something to do with me.
Now, she repeatedly emphasized that she didn't talk to anybody behind the scenes except Photon. Now, is that not the opposite of what she just said the other day when she said she had to call AAS and cuss her the fuck out?
Yes. She definitely talks to AAS behind the scenes. And Alan, I'm pretty sure he can debunk that too. Because there was an email list, and Breaking the Culture was on that email list. There's a phone call list. She's on that phone call list. So she talks to a few people behind the scenes. What is she talking about? Yeah. There's people in the sector that knows that they've talked to her behind the scenes. So
and it was like, you gonna lie about something that's so easily debunkable? Like, you gonna sit up here and say you don't talk to nobody except Photon? Like, broad, stop it. Like,
and of all people, a troll? Like,
right? Like,
you're proud that you talk to all the trolls? Like, I don't know. I don't get that at all. But okay. All right, sis. But no, she definitely talks to people behind the scenes. We've actually had and I'm not going to name any names. She can if she wants to, but I'm not going to name any names, but at least for now. But I've had conversations with Breaking the Culture and people in the sector where she was talking about AAS in these conversations. So yeah, ma'am, that's true. Like, you can say what you want. You was talking about AAS and Rev G in those conversations. So several times.
Yes. So cut the cap, as she likes to say.
And that wasn't with Shakim. Like, that was outside of the conversations we've had with you. There's been other people in the sector that she's had these conversations with too. It's like, this girl gets blinded. She gets on this blind rage, and she just forgets that everybody that she's talking about can debunk anything she's saying. Like, she just completely loses sight of all that. Like, she completely loses sight that we own all the videos. We have all the videos from that night. We have all the videos from the Zoom calls. Like, we have everything to prove everything we're saying. And that's facts.
Yeah, and it's like, if you can't even be honest about who you're talking
can you block Redbone, please?
My bad, I mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you can't be honest about who you're talking to behind the scenes, then that says a lot, right? Because there's a reason why you don't want to be forthcoming about that. Like, she can't just come up here and say, yeah, I talk to AS all the time behind the scenes. I got, excuse me, I got her number. I got her phone number. I could text her anytime I want. She emails me stuff. Why is it that she's trying to hide that? Unless, what you were saying must have had some basis in truth, right? Like, that's the only reason I could think of, because that was such a dumb lie. That was like I said, like you just said, like, how easy would it be to prove that that's not true? Like,
right. Like, Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, even with the Nikki thing, it's like she just keeps trying to beat into Nikki, and you have an issue with Nikki. You don't like Nikki because AAS doesn't like Nikki. It doesn't matter what you try to convince the sector. Like, the sector knows already what AAS does. These people you're talking to are people that are just trolling, or people that already have problems with these folks.
Exactly.
Like, that's just it. Like, that's the part she doesn't understand.
Oh, and then she lied and said AAS didn't introduce her to the sector. So is that what she also told you, or did she tell you a different story?
So I never really knew either. I will say that I thought that AAS did, because AAS specifically went over to that sector to recruit people. Now, AAS wasn't even aware as much that there were people in the church sector that had issue with let me see your transcript, right? Darrell was the one telling us all about that. AAS watches everybody. So she ended up over there, and she was like, her and Rev G were in Conscious TV's chat talking with them, right? Just kind of talking about let me see your transcript, because that's a soft area over there. That's a sore area over there, And they were trying to come off like they were some victims of let me see your transcript as well in this sector. And then that's when a lot of those people started coming over here and watching what was going on. And they were trying to get an understanding of who's who and who's what player. Darrell kind of laid out the red carpet for everybody. He let Conscious people come over. He let Daryl Moore's people come over. And they all kind of just gave their side of it until Darrell started seeing shit for what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, he saw shit for exactly what it was when it came to what Daryl Moore was presenting. Okay. And, he ended up just really, it wasn't like he was taking sides. He just couldn't help but believe what Daryl Moore was saying. You know what I'm saying? Just based off of the evidence that Daryl Moore was presenting. And that was including about breaking the culture and so forth. Okay. So, I mean, I can't say how she got here. I can't say that she definitely came over here through, meeting through Darrell, because she was on Darrell's panel. She was on Binary's panel. It's been a few panels. But it looks like she came here through AAS, because AAS hated let me see your transcript and still does. And she's done everything she could to try to get everybody else to feel that way. She needed some backup per se. Exactly. And Breaking the Culture was willing to take the fucking bait, because Breaking the Culture had these issues with let me see your transcript. Okay. And so, pretty much AAS just played upon that. And they've been kind of like she gave her that love bombing thing. Like, I got your back. I'll take care of you in this matter kind of situation. And they kind of just have each other's quote unquote back in these situations.
Absolutely. And to add on to what you're saying, I specifically remember Rev G doing a community post about her, like introducing her to the sector. And I was like, that's funny, because I didn't know y'all was cool with breaking the culture. Like, y'all ain't had no new friends in a little minute outside the sector. So anytime somebody from another sector comes to this sector, they've been brought here. Like, people don't just, go out their way to find this sector. So when she did the whole sexual harassment thing with Darrell, that's when AAS knew, like, okay,
I can trust her.
Mm-hmm. She's loyal. She's going to go to bat. And
she's even said those things in like Alan's text messages, like Breaking the Culture has proven herself loyal to us. And she's even like, those are all on Alan's page. So yeah, she looks at her a certain way, and Breaking the Culture is in damage control mode right now. So yeah, she's going to try to say any old thing like, oh no, that didn't happen. And this didn't happen and all this stuff. But it's obvious to the sector. It's obvious to people that have been here for a long time, because we already know how they get down. We already know what they do. She just don't want to get off that motherfucking payroll because she broke like that. Like, She don't want to be on AAS's bad side. And AAS probably got a bunch of shit on her, to be honest. She's probably talked a bunch of shit about a lot of motherfuckers out here. She's probably done a lot of doxing. She's probably done a lot of fuck shit. You know? Let me read some of the comments in here. My opinion, you said Redbone was taken up for tea in Stefan's chats. Okay, so my thing about that is, like, some people like you, you've been around for a while. And so I know, like, my opinions. I know the Miss Murphs and those people. There's other people, if they are able to speak on these stories, right? Meaning, like, if they're able to stand up for me or stand up for Stefan or something like that, then that means they've been around here for a long time and they need to come in as their name. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't know who these people are, and they might be a troll or not, and they get blocked around here. I don't play that shit because I'm not, this is that type of story. This is that type of conversation. I'm not tolerating the trolls tonight, and I don't have to. So if they don't want to get blocked, then they need to come in with who they are and their real name and who they usually are. And then I can talk to them. I can have a conversation with them. But other than that, I'm not doing that shit with these people. And I don't have to. But I appreciate that, my opinion, for letting me know. Clark, you said, I don't know who told her. However, she came over to her gangbusters after Let Me See Your Transcript, and she was nonstop. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. What's happening, QT? You said first time I heard of her was when Binary was lusting after her. Eyes and Sunbear. He said he was going to try and get her then on his team. I remember that too. And that's when Stargate fell out with her. I remember that too, because Stargate had a real problem with him actually saying that. Back to the clouds. Okay, QT, I appreciate you being in the building. Beautiful. Bernice, you said bingo, T-Pre. And what you're going to do about it said come in your real name, trolls. Exactly. He said Benjamin Barker. Let me go up a little bit because there were some other comments as well. He said, hamstring rub. He said, hey, beautiful Bernice. He said, hey to Joe. He said she needs to move to another sector. How about that? Like, really, she don't. I mean, if she wants to stay here and stay on the I Hate T-Pre and I Hate Sakim Ra apology tour, she can surely do that. As long as she don't come up with no new lies and no new narratives that we can just debunk. Like, I mean, hey, I don't know what to tell her. Well, every time she come up with a new lie and a new narrative, we're going to debunk that motherfucking shit.
Well, I don't really think she wants to be a part of this sector, because then that would be yet another sector that she went into and caused a bunch of problems, right? So a smart person would leave, but a desperate person wouldn't. So, yeah, I kind of see what Joe's saying.
Yeah. I mean, like, but everywhere she goes, like Darrell said, everywhere this girl goes, every time she touches any type of project or anything, she's always the common denominator, and she's always a problem. Like, she's literally a problem. Everything she does, every time she goes anywhere, anything she touches, she always ends up the issue.
Like, I ain't never seen somebody blame somebody else for their business not going anywhere. Like, so she admitted she didn't have a plan.
Like, yeah, she did finally admit that she literally did not have a plan.
That's not.
That ain't what she told either one of us, right? Because if we didn't think she had the plan was what she told us.
Right.
It was, I've got YouTube is saying that they want to let us roll out a podcast, and I can start a podcast and get paid for this podcast because this is something they're rolling out, and I have an advantage because I have multiple celebrities and multiple companies that are looking to sponsor this podcast. That is what made it stand out. That was the difference. That was the reason for the photo shoot and all this, the Airbnb and the travel plans and all these things, because we were supposed to be coming to, to do some real big time podcasting, right? I mean, that's what this woman was saying. And when we got there, it wasn't like that. That's not what it turned out to be. And then when, after the fact, it still didn't turn out to be anything close to anything like that. As a matter of fact, she don't even know half of these motherfuckers she told us. I don't even think she knows any of them.
I doubt it.
And I think that she may have rubbed shoulders with some folks based off of who her boyfriend is and who some of the men that she has selected in her life, like Victor Cousins and like her boyfriend now that, but no, she's not running around with celebrities in these high class spaces like she's telling us.
Exactly. Like, you didn't have to cap at all. So you had no plan, no LLC, no business account, no real sponsorships, nothing. But yet
it was just a podcast, which we could have did and started from home and stayed at home. And, we could have had probably like 90 episodes by now, yeah. If we had just did it that way. But the way she presented it to us was not what it was. What she presented to us was a podcast deal where we would be making big money because of the sponsorships behind the podcast. Mm-hmm. All we had to do was turn on the mic and fucking talk.
Right.
This was according to her. We didn't make that up. And it's funny because nobody was going to talk about that. Nobody brought that up to the Secktah. Nobody brought up any of this stuff to the Secktah. She brought it up to the Secktah. But she didn't bring up all of that. She just brought up, oh, these people came here and, oh, I was in danger and I don't know what happened. And Shakim was so dangerous and he did me so wrong and they are doing me so wrong and they're talking about me so bad and, oh, poor me. And it's like, what are you talking about, girl? Ain't nobody talking about you. Yeah. Where I said that you did all this stuff? I'm telling people now what you did. I'm telling people now what happened. That was after you decided to talk about this with a troll, a Secktah troll. That's another thing about Breaking. She doesn't really understand the players in the Secktah. She doesn't know who's who. She really don't.
She should know Stargate ain't shit because she was the main one upset that Stargate was telling people she was fucking a married man. So,
right.
I'm like,
that happened in her Secktah. That's the crazy part about it, right? She fell out with her in her Secktah because of Stargate's bullshit.
Yes.
Called her out on that shit on Conscious's show. But like I said, and it wouldn't be hard for people to figure that out. The only reason she wanted to become cool with Stargate is and in her words, is to get under Nikki's skin. And I'm like, Nikki doesn't even care. Nikki don't even watch your show. You know what I mean? Like, why would she care about something like that? So that's why she keeps coming for Nikki Secktah. That's why she keeps trying to tell y'all all these things about me and Nikki and what I've said about Nikki. And I'm doing this about Nikki because she hates Nikki. She wants to get under Nikki's skin somehow. And it's not working. Like, it's not working. I just talked to Nikki not even that long ago. Me and Nikki are not at odds with each other. We are not mad at each other. I'm not mad at Nikki. She's not mad at me. And she doesn't fucking believe you, girl. And neither do I. And anybody that's feeding into it are people that want the beef. They want to see a beef with these women. Anybody else that's feeding into it are people that already just don't like me for whatever their degenerate incel-like reason is. Hey, Kip, I appreciate you being in the building. And that's just that. So for all the naysayers, y'all are welcome to naysay all day. But the truth is the truth. And Nikki and I are aware of that. We're good. Shout out to my sis. And y'all need to leave her the fuck alone. Like real nigga shit. For those of y'all that keep trying to pick at her and pick and pick and pick, leave that woman alone. She's not bothering you. She's not doing anything to you. And she's an innocent bystander in this situation. So leave her alone. And break and speak some truth. Stand on your word as a woman. You don't like Nikki. Period. And you're trying to use this to get under Nikki's skin and to get at her. But it's not working. Because her true friends and people that really fuck with her, we know what's up. And you're not piercing that wall. That's just that. What's happening, keeping it plain?
Well, sister, I had a lot of pee on my truck. I just want to say congratulations, Shakim. I'm sleeping on that.
That was fucking he's banned. So that was Remix. I guess he feel like he needed to come up here and talk shit. People have nothing else to do. Anyway, Clark says, so wait a minute. She and Stargate are talking. And if so, that is fine. What is wrong with you and Shakim talking? You don't have an answer. You don't have to answer, just a question. Right, exactly. I mean, I know what you mean though. Like if, she's welcome to be cool with Stargate or whatever, but do it for good. Do it because you really want to be cool with her. Don't do it because you're trying to get at somebody else in the sector who don't give a fuck about you. Like that's the part. Like none of us give a fuck about any of this bullshit. You know what I mean? What's up, Shakim? You can go ahead and talk real quick.
Yeah, that was a great question because, again, she specifically admitted that she's befriending people to bother other people. So it doesn't matter if it's Nikki or you could put anybody's name in there. Like anybody could fit. So now she's told on herself on multiple times, but
right.
She wants us to believe that this was all genuine and this was all done to do what? Like, because you don't care about Nikki. So you can't come on here and advocate and make it seem like, well, T-Pree's nobody's friend, Nikki. I care about you. I want to protect you from her. Like,
girl, bye.
What? Like this.
Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Yeah, she's trying to latch on to that, but I'm telling y'all, the reason why Nikki and I are cool is because she understands the full context of that conversation. And Shakim understands the full context of that conversation. And so that is why me and Nikki are good. Yeah, and breaking the culture is just, I guess she realizes that. And she's been on an apology tour all fucking day. Like,
yeah, it's like she gave Rev G an apology.
Girl, where are your kids at? Are you doing anything with your kids? Did you have any time with your kids today, girl? Did you spend any time with the kids that live with you? Like, did you do that? Forget about the other 2 kids that you don't have, allegedly. But with the 2 kids that live in your house, have you spent any time with them today? Did you do anything with them today? Did you talk to them? Did you enjoy their time? Or have you been on these YouTube streets all motherfucking day trying to prove that I'm a motherfucking liar? Trying to get the sector to turn against me. Like, the sector is not going to turn against me, sweetheart. It's just not going to happen. No matter what you do or say, how you say it, it's just not going to happen.
And notice who's been quiet this whole time.
Mm-hmm. Like I said last night, y'all go look at AAS and Rev G's channel and see how they just rubbing their hands together.
Almost like this was planned. Like
they haven't even had to attack Nikki like they've been doing because breaking the culture doing it.
And here comes Rap Mix.
Mm-hmm. You know, he is always in the mix of something. That's not
It's
surprising.
just too convenient. Like,
It's
you
very
need,
convenient.
you need more
Very,
people.
very convenient.
It's
These
like y'all
people,
motherfuckers turning to Voltron over this. Like,
exactly. But I encourage anyone, you know, I'm not telling anybody what to do and where to go and who to watch and all that stuff. But I'm telling y'all, a couple of people tried to send me to watch the video with Stefan this evening. I'm not watching that shit. Like, I don't give a fuck what these motherfuckers say. You know what I mean? Like, I promise you, I don't give a fuck what they say. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Y'all not speaking facts, so it doesn't fucking matter what y'all say. But you're not changing what's truth. You're not changing. You talking shit about me and trying to convince the Secktah that I'm this horrible, defiled, terrible, demonic, horrible person. Yeah, you trying to do that is not changing the actual facts on what happened with this podcast. Like, is that changing, Shakim? Has that changed?
not a motherfucker thing has changed. She ain't. And that's what's so funny. It's like, again, the only accountability she wants to take is I didn't have a plan. Like, she didn't say shit about the photos. She didn't say shit about. Then she tried to paint us out to be just some savage niggas. Like,
Right.
just some
And then when we
ratchet
turn
ass.
on the camera and show y'all what's on the video, who was the savage nigga in the fucking video?
Because I didn't get you. I wasn't about to get nobody locked up, nigga. I wasn't upset.
I
So,
wasn't out here insinuating I'm about to suck somebody's dick. She was doing that on video. That wasn't us. She was the one as a belligerent fucking drunk on video telling y'all that she was about to get locked up. They called the cops on her, not us.
like, and then she tried to make it a race issue, and the waitress was black. Like,
The waitress was a black woman, y'all, African at that, Jamaican or whatever she was at that.
so how did this become you being racially profiled for the first time by a black woman? Make that shit add up. And she copies all of my phrases. Like, she been saying, make it make sense, and which one is it, and gotta
And
pick
she
the
met
motherfucking side today. I'm like, damn, bitch, can I get $5? Because you've been using all my catchphrases for your argument. Like, goddamn. And I was about to give her a shirt. I gave her one of my Make It Make Sense shirts or something. And she said we were going to take pictures in it, but we never did that.
Yeah.
So I could keep going.
That was at the table. Mm. Yep.
And now you cool with Photon. Now you so buddy with Photon. And Photon just happens to not like Nikki either.
Exactly.
What a coincidence.
Exactly. I mean, she called him a Leatherface too. I mean, so
Damn.
she said Photon is broke. She didn't understand how broke he was because he didn't pay for nothing. And then she talked about when they went up to New York the last time. You remember how they were up in New York? She was trying to piss off Carrie Ann. She said AAS sent him some money to pay for that shit.
What?
Yeah, she was like AAS. She said, I swear AAS sent him some money to pay for that. She said, but I ended up paying because he just came in there broke. He act like he ain't have no money. And then she said that they bought one platter and they ate off of that one platter because he didn't have no money. And she said that somebody had sent him a Cash App while they were sitting there. And she thought it was AAS that sent it to him.
Oh my Lord.
I don't know if AAS did or not, but she said she thought that she did because he was broke. He didn't have no money when he got there. He was telling her he ain't have no money to buy nothing. So they ordered like one platter. It was like a platter with chicken or shrimp or some shit like that. And they both ate off the platter.
Oh, niggas sharing appetizers now?
They shared an appetizer at the Brooklyn Moon, yo. To piss Carrie Ann off. Just to piss Carrie Ann off.
Say it ain't so. Say it. Oh.
Oh man, these people. What's up, Eyes? I appreciate you being in the building. You said my favorite men lie, women lie. Exactly. He said maybe she thought she was getting racially profiled as a non-black. Just a thought. Word.
Right.
He said Shakim say men lie, women lie. Exactly. Beautiful Bernice, you said so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Not the you know how the Applebee's got the 2 for $25. Like, goddamn, could y'all at least get 2 for $25 on that motherfucker?
They went to the Brooklyn Moon. You know that shit is, it's expensive in Brooklyn. So,
sure is.
But that shit wasn't that fucking expensive. The Brooklyn Moon wasn't, like, compared to like other places you would go in New York, that shit wasn't that expensive.
Nah,
in wasn't. Brooklyn it's not anyway. If you go to like the local bars and stuff, it ain't that expensive. But yeah, they shared a platter at the Brooklyn Moon because Photon was broke, according to her. Like, I wasn't there, so I don't know, Photon. But according to your best friend, that's what happened.
Yes, and now they best of friends now after he done called her a hoe and everything but a child of God. So she could be cool with who she wants to be cool with when it's convenient. But God forbid that me and
real
you don't
friends actually become friends again, right?
Like, T-Pre was talking so much shit about you, and T-Pre didn't want to work with you either. And I'm like, do you think
I'm thinking defrauded. He drove her home in the Lambo after she bought the platter,
I can't.
He took her home in the Lambo, after she purchased the platter. But no, they said they was hanging out with some other people, with some other celebrities or some shit. And then they went and sat there at the Brooklyn Moon, and he was broke again, so she had to pay. But then she said, but while they were sitting there, he got this Cash App, and she thinks that AAS sent him the Cash App. I was like, it was probably his girl. He do got a girlfriend. A baby mom, anyway.
Imaginary.
I think he do have a baby mom. I don't know. For real. Right?
Well, now he was claiming he was married the other day. So it's funny how women go from being a baby mom to the girlfriend to the wife overnight. Like, it's funny. But either way, it's like, nigga, keep that same energy, because, nigga, you was not acting like that, like, in person, but behind the scenes, like, you was calling that nigga all kind of names, and you was feeling some type of way. But as long as he don't like Nikki, right? As long as he don't like Carrie Ann, and let me see your transcript and all the women that you don't like, it's all good. Fuck what he said about you.
I'll be trying to figure out how, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just I just walk to the beat of a different drum or something, but I'm not used to men being that disrespectful to women. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have so much hatred for women. Like, I could see you saying, you say what you say and then you just move on, right? But it seemed like every time this nigga go live, he only got a bunch of fucking smoke for the females. Like, he tried that shit with Propane, right? With Propane's girl. And Propane dug in that motherfucking ass, drugged that ass around the fucking sector for like 2 months straight, right? He ain't have no smoke for him. Like, no smoke for him at all. He tried a little bit, but he would like do like little sneak panels and talk shit about Propane and say like a little bit of shit like on a sneak panel, but then he'll hurry up and take that video down, or or whatever. Like, he don't got no smoke at all for these niggas out here. But for the women, like, he act like he a woman going at the women. Like,
exactly. Like, he acts like Stefan.
Yeah, like Stefan does that. And it's like, I don't think they understand how abnormal that is. Like, do they get that that's not normal for you as a man? You know what I mean? Like, I can't respect a man like that. I could say, I'm not saying that men should never have any pushback for women, you know what I'm saying? Or men should never have anything to say towards women. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, when does it become abnormal for a man himself? You know what I mean? Like, when do you as a man draw the line? When do you as a man feel like this isn't cool? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, you get where I'm at with that, what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like, and it would be different if you had fucked all of these women. Like, let's say these were all your exes or something. Then I can understand. But you don't know these women, nigga. Like, you don't. Like, you
Make a
don't
change.
trust.
You're welcome to hit the panel, and I can tell you, because I'll explain that what you just said, because it's not like what you're saying. You're welcome to come up here, because the one person I also said that to is on the panel too. And I talked to Nikki about it, and she understands. So if you'd like to get more of an understanding, you're welcome to come up and ask that question. The link is in the chat. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, it's like anybody that AAS has an issue with, here come Photon running out, jumping out the motherfucking window, like man or woman. Like,
Yeah, and it's like, but
everybody.
the men, if it's a man, he only has, like, he might say a couple of things, you know what I mean? But if it's the women, it's like he just wants to go in and drag and go around the corner and all the way around the board and just keep going and going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
That says a lot about him.
Yeah, that Carrie Ann situation never sat right with me, because I just felt like, as a man, it was so much vitriol, and it's like, y'all didn't ever even fuck. Like, so that's something else. Like, you already had issues with women, and Carrie Ann just brought that out of you, nigga, and probably vice versa. But, if you love women the way you claim you do, then it wouldn't have dragged on for like 6 months. Like, matter of fact, maybe it's been longer than that. I don't know. But this nigga has been talking about the women of the sector for months. Like you said, that's his whole show. Like, let me see your transcript. Now it's Eyes. He was talking shit about Eyes the other day.
Mm-hmm. He's talking big, crazy, like,
I got that on tape.
A lot of racial undertones with that, and even with me, and but he's always tried to do that shit with me. But with other women, like it's abnormal. You know what I mean? It's like why is it to this level, sir? But then with men, it's not like that. You don't have that much. You're not on that high of a level with discussing men. Like, you know what I mean? You don't go that far with men. But with women, it's like you want to punch down on women so bad, especially the darker the woman is, he just wants to beat down on women so bad. And people give him that space to do that, Shout out to the real men that do say something to him, though. Shout out to the Alan Logics and the P's and the U and the Kips and those of y'all and D Durrells and those of y'all that really do tell him about himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to troll and to laugh and to joke and to have fun, but he takes it really, really far with the women. Really far. Like, he goes deep into racial talk and talking about gorillas and monkeys and stuff like that. And it's like, who are you trying to please? Because you're a black man. You know what I mean? Like, when I saw him, he was a black man. Did you see anything else? I mean, he looked black to me.
He looks half black, and he looks mixed with some sort of
island type.
Moroccan or something. Like,
he looked islandish, like he was from the West Indies or some shit to me.
Yeah.
But they black people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these are black people to me.
But I'm
not saying he's foundational black American, but he's a black person. He's not white, He's not, he doesn't even look like he has any white ancestry to me. He just looks like a black man. Cause that picture y'all be seeing, that ain't that. I don't know who that is. That picture on that motherfucking on that profile, that sir, that ain't him. So wait a minute. I want to address Make a Change because he was asking me questions in the chat about what he thinks is crazy about the conversation, quote unquote conversation, and me telling Breaking the Culture something. And that's not what happened. But I was waiting for you to hit the panel so we can talk directly. Because a lot of times you ask questions, and then when I want to answer your question, you're not available for that. So the link is in the chat. Make a Change. Can you hit the link, or did you want to just stay in the chat? You can let me know, and then I guess I'll just address your question from the chat. But let me know. You said, beautiful Bernice. You said for someone coming into the sector crying in a car about being homeless and sharing fake booty pics to eat, you should shut the fuck up.
I can't.
I can't. He said, did y'all meet my boy Mikey? No, Mikey didn't come around that night. Mikey didn't come around. We didn't go looking for him either. There's a lot of people up there that I could have met up with and could have came around. Beautiful Bernice could have came out, a few others, but no, I didn't. We were actually on a mission. We thought we were on a mission, But this girl, like she said, she didn't have no plan. She act like she had a plan. She told us she had a plan. She told us what those plans were. We had multiple meetings about it before we even came up there, and it didn't turn out that way. It didn't turn out that way at all. And that was her fault.
Yep, you got motherfuckers pitching ideas and then presenting those ideas as if they're backed up by other people. And it's like, that wasn't your first time doing it, was it? Because you did the same shit to Larry. Like, she was telling Larry she's about to get all of this money for this sex tape lawsuit that she was doing. She got niggas out here buying cars, thinking they about to get some money in a few months, and then it never happened. Like, this is not the first time she's done that. So I don't know why she does that. Because, there's no business without a plan behind it. Otherwise, it's just an idea in your brain. Like, it's a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to plan a fucking business. Like,
exactly. Like, how do you have a business with no plan?
Like, that's literally part of doing business. Like, so
having a plan for the business, right? You got to have a layout of what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing, do some projections on what you're expecting and all those things. Know your target audience, and these are things you got to know. But she laid out a plan to us. She laid out what the plan was. It's not like she just said, hey, let's do a podcast, and I want Life Jennings and everybody, and we were just like, okay, and we just jumped on it. That's not what happened. She presented us with a very believable plan. Broke down a lot of things. The only thing we weren't able to break down was money, and time, like how we were going to, we did do the time. We had talked about what days we were going to record and how we were going to mass record, on some days, and then present the podcast, present the shows, like that. So we did talk about those things. We just never was able to work out anything as far as money because we hadn't had those discussions. And we also hadn't talked with any of these sponsors, right?
Mm-hmm.
That she was talking about. So, I mean, I don't know. But that's what we got at the situation. So again, breaking the culture, like, where's the lies? What did we lie about? You were so busy trying to deflect and trying to hurt Nikki's feelings and trying to come and pick at Nikki and trying to, come between that friendship. Like I said, the people who have these quote unquote questions are always questioning people in the sector. Make a Change is always questioning everybody. He's questioned everything I've done. He questions everybody. If you look at his channel, that's what he does, right? These are people that are going to give you pushback. They are going to come in the chats and say what they say and speak their speech. And because this is the space that they choose to do that. But everybody doesn't literally live vicariously through YouTube. You see what I'm saying? So whatever his questions are kind of irrelevant because the very people that allegedly affected, I've already spoken to. So if they have an understanding, who cares if Make a Change has an understanding? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Or anybody else? Because it didn't affect Make a Change. It doesn't matter whether he's trying to understand the logic. He could just come up here and ask me or mind his business like everybody else is doing, right? And just kind of watch. But Breaking the Culture doesn't get that. She doesn't understand that everybody's not living on YouTube, vicariously through YouTube. Everybody doesn't hold this stuff, seriously. Make a Change will cut this off tonight and go home and come back tomorrow and talk about something different with me. You see what I'm saying? He'll come back in my chat and have a totally different conversation. He won't even care what the logic is and all this stuff. He's not trying to understand the logic. This is just people that do this in this sector. It keeps the nonsense going. It keeps the stuff going. Keeps the fire going. Whenever she catches on to that is when she can live like the rest of us do in this sector. But you're not going to turn anybody against me, Breaking the Culture. You're not going to change anybody's mind about me. They're going to feel whatever they feel regardless. People are still going to fuck with me regardless. And people are going to fuck with you regardless. Nobody's going to, try to turn against you. And nobody tried to turn anybody against you. You came out on this world tour of shouting to the void. And now we out here with you. The difference is we got the truth. And the truth fucking hurts, don't it? That truth is hurting, girl. That truth hurts. What's up, Riz Lyricist? I appreciate you being in the building. He said, Make a Change has been exposed, family. Jay Reed, what's happening? What's happening? So anyway, bro, you got anything else to say? It's late. I want to get off of here.
I guess that can wrap it up. And then, we could just leave it at that for right now.
For now, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, as long as the girl keeps talking crazy, keeps saying this and saying that, if she make up anything else and we got the evidence to debunk it, we'll play it for y'all, The bleeding can stop when she stops the bleeding, literally. She has to stop the bleeding by being done lying. That's just it. When she stops lying, the bleeding will stop. Because we're not going to let her sit back and just say whatever she wants and without debunking her lies. Period. So again, if I'm doing all this stuff and I'm talking about Nikki and I'm putting her business out there and her truths out there, quote unquote, because like I said, Nikki knows what's true and what's not. She knows how she's living and not, whether y'all want to say, something or not. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. Nikki knows her story, so she would know if I really said something like that or not. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if I'm talking about Nikki so motherfucking much and I'm disrespecting her so fucking bad, put the fucking receipts out there. Because like I said, anything that me and Shakim say about you, Breaking the Culture, we can back that shit up with evidence. I'm talking text messages, email. We ain't even got to them.
Right. This is still the pre-show.
This is the pre-show. We haven't even got to the emails, the text messages, the any of that. And that both of us have those. Both of us have our own separate versions of different things. We haven't gotten to none of that. We haven't gotten to the Zoom videos. None of that stuff. Y'all ain't seen none of it. Our fucking clips are still fucking full. It's not our fault this bitch emptied her fucking clip and don't got nothing else. And now she running around here filibustering, trying to still hang on to the same fucking lies. Swinging through the sector. Trying to prove that we the motherfucking liars. And she only making herself look like more and more of a liar. Like, girl, I don't know what you're going to get. When you going to get that? I don't know when she going to get that. But people like Stefan, as long as you jump in from panels like Stefan and me and Remix and these people, you're fucking losing, honey. You're losing. Literally, Stefan was just emailing me yesterday. Like yesterday.
Wow.
Trying to call a truce and make peace with me. Come on now.
And then today.
And then today you're live talking shit.
Flip-flopping. Backpedaling and pussy popping once again.
Backpedaling and pussy popping because he mad because I don't even know why he mad because I took his mod stick. All of this is over a mod stick. All of this over a motherfucking mod stick. Like, really? Oh my God.
Come on, Stephanie. I'm starting to think you a double agent too.
Word. I'm starting to think AAS done gave you a couple dollars to email me. Okay. Y'all some broke motherfuckers. Anyway, bro, listen, I'll give you a call. I'm about to get off of here because I'm tired. It's late. And these motherfuckers ain't going to be on my mind all motherfucking night. It's 12:30. So, but yeah, like I said, breaking the culture. If I'm out here talking shit about all the women and Nikki and you just keep trying to get at Nikki, then fucking put that shit out there. Until then, bitch, you just talking shit like, you know, the shit you just do. And I don't really know what else to tell you. But again, we can fucking debunk anything you say with actual facts. That's not my fault. That's not my problem. That is yours. But I appreciate y'all tuning in as y'all always do. Thank y'all for watching. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace, guys.